Well, hello. What up? Welcome to your Friday stream. Welcome to the Friday show. I'm excited to get into this. Look, here's the deal. Oh, jeez, Rick. Trying to fix something, adjust something real quick behind the scenes. What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to Friday. Welcome to the Friday stream. And, you know, look, this stream's going to be a little bit different. I don't even have a plan, per se. I don't have a script or anything like that. I wanted to just kind of talk and touch on kind of where we're at as far as nerdy stuff and the nerd Avengers in the community and everything. And this is sort of brought on by a few conversations that I've been seeing in the comment section, on the Discord, even in Twitter and things of that nature. And I just wanted to kind of get into it, man. You know, we did a stream yesterday for the Nerd Avengers, and we kind of got into some of this. And I wanted to do it live publicly and just talk about what's going on, where we're at. And I want to get to, what I really want to get to is sort of the hope that I have for Marvel in particular, but also Star Wars and DC. Because as much as things are really shitty right now, and this is probably the darkest time as far as like nerdy content that I've ever experienced on my whole time on YouTube. And honestly, probably as my whole time as a fan. And it's like, it's dark, you know, and it's bad. But I think all of these properties, every one of them actually does have a way out. I'm not 100% convinced that we'll get there, particularly when it comes to DC and Star Wars. I am 100% convinced that we will get there with Marvel. And I kind of want to just talk about that, kind of change the pace a little bit and try to be a little bit positive, because, man, I was toxic this week. And don't get me wrong, the toxicity is not going to stop. But I did want to sort of give a fair shake to some people that are feeling weird about it, that are feeling like everybody's just dogpiling on Marvel. And really, I think what it is, guys, I'm watching something happen right now to the Marvel fan base that I watched happen to the Star Wars fan base, and that I watched happen to the DC fan base. There was a conversation last night on the Discord. It was a minor one. It wasn't like this big blow up or anything like that. But I saw like MCU Drew was arguing with some people about the AI credits with Secret Invasion. And, you know, he had this thing where he was like, you know, it's just crazy. Like, everybody's just looking to get mad at every little thing when it comes to Marvel right now. And that's true. But this same thing happened to Star Wars. And I watched it go from, you know, certain people that were retractors, really loud, you know, grifters, and people that it felt really separated from the majority of the fan base. And then I saw like the fan base sort of fray and fracture over time. And a lot of people become disillusioned with Lucasfilm and Disney Star Wars, to the point where it's at now. You literally have people, and I'm one of these people. This is the whole thing is so weird, but I am one of these people. You have people literally rooting for Indiana Jones to fail. Like, you literally have people rooting for an Indiana Jones movie to fail. And I was rooting for The Flash to fail. And I'm genuinely glad that The Flash failed. And I'm like, imagine that, right? Imagine the studio being so estranged from a lot of its fan base that people are rooting for these movies to fail, okay? And look, there's no way around that. That is toxic. Like, I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, bro, but like, you're fine, and like, it's not toxic and all that stuff. Like, I think it is fine, but it also is toxic. Like, let's not get it twisted. Like, we can't pretend that's not toxic. Bro, that's toxic as fuck. I'm literally I'm going around like with Mark Fernandez being like, yo, watch Jeremy John's review of Indiana Jones, you fuck. It's gonna be shit. And you can't see it, Mark. And you got to stop people from seeing it because we need Kathleen Kennedy gone. Like, bro, that is hella toxic. Okay? And even though I had a really good time on Monday's stream, like genuinely a really good time, it is super toxic. And I think it just puts this weird cloud and damper over everything that's happening. And what I saw happen to Star Wars, what I saw happen to DC is currently happening with Marvel. And I wonder how they're going to navigate out of it. But that's kind of what I want to talk about with today's stream. Now, as far as show notes are concerned, I did want to say I thought about it, and I do actually want to have a Diamond Lounge stream tonight. Okay, I wasn't going to do it. I was going to push it into next week. But I feel like we need a Diamond Lounge stream, man. I feel like we need a Diamond Lounge stream. I don't know about you guys, but the fact that Marvel is not going to Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con, like genuinely, I don't know how you guys feel about that. That shit has wrecked me. Okay? Like I am pretty upset about that. And I think, you know, part of the main reason why is because I was looking for that to be where we would start this turnaround, where we would sort of begin to shift into a new phase for Marvel content. And without that, it's kind of going to linger, man. All of where we're at right now is just going to linger until they make some announcements, make some decisions, and kind of, you know, get it moving. But I'm thinking too, guys, I'm thinking about doing it at 8 p.m. That's pretty late. But I want to do it at 8 p.m. because I still have a ton of stuff to do today. And I am going to be doing a Prime stream at 2 p.m. for the Prime members. And I think that's going to be really cool because I want to talk about Den of Nerds, but I also want to talk about the Warhammer channel that I'm building. So I'll be doing that at 2 p.m. So there's just a lot to do. So I'm going to throw it up at 8. If you can come on by, and we'll have some drinks, we'll have some smokes, and we'll cry together. You know what I mean? We'll cry together. So we'll have it go down at 8 p.m. Okay, let's get baked, Josh. Well, you've got to be a Diamond Lounge member to be able to get in. But yeah, let's do that. Now, there's also some stuff going on that's newsworthy and hilarious, of course. And I mean, I guess we could start with where Warner Brothers is at. Here's what I think we should do. Let's start with Warner Brothers, then let's talk about Star Wars, then let's talk about Marvel. Okay? And we'll save the best for last because I truly think Marvel has the best chance out of all of these studios to turn it around. And I'm actually going to put Warner Brothers beneath Star Wars now as far as how hopeful and optimistic I am for them to turn it around. And a lot of this has to do with The Flash. Okay? Some of you guys might be like, dude, did he just judo in more toxicity? Shut your mouth. Okay, listen. Guys, I thought The Flash would bomb. Okay? But I did not anticipate. I had no idea it would bomb the way that it did. This thing might end up doing less than Shazam 2. And Shazam 2 has been, I mean, it was so bad that I actually didn't even feel like dogpiling on that movie and dogpiling on, what's his face, Zachary Levi. Because I was like, dude, it's just kind of sad. Like it's already dead. You know, like the meme? Like it's already there. Don't stop. He's already dead. Like that's kind of what it felt like for me. I was like, yo, are you kidding me? Apparently, on I think Wednesday night, The Flash came in third in the box office. It literally lost out to Across the Spider-Verse and the Pixar movie, the new Pixar movie that came out. Okay? That's unbelievable. And you're going to be looking at one of the biggest box office drop-offs ever with the Flash. It might not actually get up percentage-wise to some of the record holders, but that's just because it made so little money to begin with, right? But imagine that. Yeah, Elemental, yeah. So imagine that, right? Imagine the Flash, who, I mean, look, we said it all on Monday. We don't need to, like, literally belabor the point, but, I mean, they pushed a lot of their chips into the middle of the table with this film, okay? And it is a colossal, an absolutely colossal failure. And I think that, this week you're having a lot of DC fans discuss and talk about whether or not Blue Beetle will be any better. How badly will Aquaman 2 bomb? And I think you at least have to lay some of that at the feet of announcing the reboot. Like, essentially, I think the least toxic way I can put this is it's pretty wild to come out and say, yeah, stuff's so fucked up that we're going to reboot it all. By the way, you guys excited for this next 4 projects from the shit we're rebooting? Like, that is pretty wild, okay? So it has led to a really bad situation. Warner Brothers is also, this just broke yesterday. They are selling off assets. They're selling off the musical rights to a lot of stuff that they had in TV and film. So they have this big music catalog, and they're selling off like half of that. Okay. On top of that, they're selling off the television shows. They're going to start selling their television shows to Netflix. Bro, when is Hope coming? Don't worry. We're going to get there, okay? We're going to get there. So, I mean, DC is in such a weird spot. And you know what's so crazy is, like, it's so bad that the most ridiculous shit ever, like Zach wanting to, or people wanting Netflix to get the rights to the Snyderverse, which once felt like an absolute absurdity, completely impossible, on the level of George Lucas buying back Star Wars, ridiculous. All of a sudden, I mean, is that really that unbelievable? Like, is that really that unbelievable? Bro, they're going to sell the whole fucking company next year. It looks like. It really does. So, yeah, I don't really think it's that unbelievable. And I think it just goes to show and serve to, like, how bad things are. And, again, obviously I have my situation with James Gunn, but I think it's pretty clear to people. Well, I think it's becoming more and more clear to people that as an executive and as a leader, just bad decisions have been made. And you can make bad decisions, but the problem with this job that he has is that these bad decisions have probably lost hundreds of millions of dollars. So now that we've sort of set the table, well, what's the hope? I mean, how is the hope? I mean, first of all, you can talk about the fact that James Gunn is going to be rebooting the entire universe, okay? And if ever there was a need of a reboot, there's one there. And obviously, here's the thing. James Gunn makes really good movies. I'm not the biggest fan of his style. So, films like The Suicide Squad, films like Guardians 2, not my cup of tea. Even Guardians 3 has a lot of, like, James Gunn stuff that I don't love. But I can't deny it's a good movie. I can't deny that people really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it, right? So he has the ability to make an incredible Superman movie, right? And it looks like what you're going to be getting with the Superman movie is really an establishment of the DCU in general. They're doing way more than casting Superman characters. There's supposed to be a lot of characters in this movie. In fact, the Authority, a lot of members of the Authority are supposed to be in this movie, and they're really going to set up Superman versus the Authority, like, right away. Now, some people think that's ridiculous and silly. I actually think it could play, and I think it could be an interesting way to take the universe. So you do have this reboot, lingering. I guess one of the problems is the DC fan base is so fractured, and they really are just releasing dead on arrival movies over and over again. And so, when Blue Beetle comes out, you're going to have the same thing. When Aquaman 2 comes out, you're going to have the same thing. It's going to get really toxic online. People are going to freak out. I'm going to, celebrate their failure, dance on their... that just is what it is. And many other people are going to participate in that, right? So that, I think, is actually one of the biggest underlying problems with that brand. The question becomes, will a year away from the DCEU be enough to sort of wash out that taste and to sort of wash out that connection and to get people to be open to the Superman movie? We're really not sure. Mr. JB, thanks for gifting 5, man. I really appreciate it. But it is possible, right? Zack Snyder could low-key help James Gunn out if Rebel Moon is as fire as I think it's going to be. I think a lot of people might be like, maybe we don't really want Zack doing DC anymore because this is so good, Rebel Moon. And they really get excited about what Zack is going to do with Rebel Moon. I think the casting for, the Superman movie is a big deal. And there's a scenario in which Gunn and maybe others really do nail some announcements, get us really hyped up. For as much shit as I give them, the announcements did generate a lot of headlines and a lot of buzz. I actually think that, again, that caused some of these movies to bomb, but you got to kind of reverse engineer it, and you're like, okay, so they do have the ability to get some hype, to get people excited. So there's a scenario in which DC could get it all together. It's wild. I was watching John Roca and Jeff Snyder on the Hot Mic podcast yesterday when I was in the gym. And, I thought Snyder had this incredible take where he's like, and he was talking specifically about Disney, but it plays and it also works with Warner Brothers. Is Pixar in a better spot than they were 5 years ago? Absolutely not. Is Star Wars in a better spot than it was 5 years ago? Obviously not. Is Marvel in a better spot than it was 5 years ago? Absolutely not. Right? You can say the same thing of DC, though. Ironically, at a time when DC thought they were losing and flailing, and, I'm talking like BVS and Man of Steel and all of that, ironically, those are some of the highest grossing DC movies of the past 10 years. So was DC, or rather, is DC doing better than it was 5 years ago? No. Absolutely not. And again, it seems to all kind of be happening at the same time, and that's created this dark, place that we're at. We're going through this valley of the shadow of the death of nerdy shit, right? It's very dark right now. That part of that is just because I think things have really declined from 5 years ago. But it's not as though DC is just not doing anything. They are rebooting. They do have James Gunn at the head now. And I know a lot of you guys still have a lot of faith in Gunn. And so it's possible, in 2025, which now is not going to have competition from an Avengers film, Superman Legacy, I think, is really going to determine how successful or not successful that thing goes. Now, if I had to give you a percentage chance on that happening, how about this? Let's ask you guys. What percentage chance do you think Warner Brothers has, or maybe it's not even Warner Brothers by 2025, but regardless, what percentage chance do you think there is for DC to turn it around? What do you think? A coin flip, 50-50. 1%. Wow. 100%. Okay. Bold. 65%. 75%. 25%. Dang. Okay. 23. Wow. 75. Gunn has a good track record. Okay. 25, 60, 0, 50, 50. Bro, this in this darkest of timelines, who knows? Yeah, I know. I agree. 40 at this point. Oh, man. Okay. Man, that's really interesting. So, look, I'll tell you my honest take. I mean, we could poll it, but I think we're getting a good look at what everybody feels like here. Although, you know what? Why not? Polls are fun. Let's go to Poll Town. Let's go to Poll Town. What percent chance you think DC has to turn it around? We'll say 20 or less. I gotta think of how I do this, because then I could go, because I can only do 5 options, I believe. 20 to 40. See if my brain like nails this. That'd be cool. 40 to 60. Another option would be 60 to 80, and then 80 to 100. I think we nailed it, dude. Good job, brain. Wait, what? I can only do 4 options? I thought I could do 5 options. God damn it, brain. So it's 4. We just have to make this 25 then. 25. Or less. 25 to 50. 50 to 75. This is why this is probably not going to be very accurate at all. But you know what? We're too far in. And then 75 to 100. Why would they make it like that? That just feels so weird. Oh, wow. I still think that's weird that you can't do 5 options. The fuck? Watching and listening to Josh's brain work is fascinating. Oh, I know. Yeah, I've been told that before. That's so woke of them. Oh, I totally agree. And also, what the fuck? Yeah. Don't think about it too much. Never do. Let's see what you guys think. I think my answer might surprise you. Or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. How do you got 50 twice? What the fuck? Why do I have 22 to 50? Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. It's such a disaster. It's such a fucking disaster. Hey, we're off to a great start. You know, we're off to a great start. Okay, so far, and you know, it's shifting a little bit, but you got 26% of people at 25 or less. You got 34% of people saying between a 25 and a 50% chance. You've got 30% of people saying that they have a 50 to 75% chance, and then you have 11% coming in at that 75 to 100%. So the way I would kind of calculate this is, it feels like 10% of folks are very confident that they will turn it around. 29% of folks are relatively confident that they will turn it around. I would say 40% of people, well, 36% of people are relatively skeptical of them turning it around. And then 26% of you guys really don't think they have a high chance of turning it around at all. So I'm going to actually say that I'm in the less than 25%. And my original thing that I was going to say is I give them less than a 20% chance of turning it around. Okay? So when it comes to DC, there's absolutely still some hope. They absolutely could turn it around. But if they did, it would actually shock me. So I have less than 20% chance that they will actually turn it around. And what I really mean is like this time. Because I think that you will always get DC, but it may well be the case that like James Gunn sort of gets started, all that shit bombs as well, and then they just cut the cord on that. And then I think they need to take a long break. I think they need a long break before they can attempt any more DC. Let that shit just chill for a little bit. Like, all this tweeting, all this fucking bullshit that Gunn has done, it has literally negatively affected the fan base and caused a lot of problems. You know, my shit to the side, I still feel like that's the case. And I don't have a lot of faith that that guy's going to be different. He is who he is. So I don't have a lot of faith in them. I think they're probably fucked. Now, let's talk about Star Wars. Star Wars in a slightly better situation than DC. And I can't believe I'm saying that. But there's one main reason why. One main reason why, and that's Dave Filoni. And unlike the James Gunn situation, I think Dave Filoni has this sort of unique value for the brand overall because he actually studied at the feet of George Lucas. He was actually like the Padawan. He has that really strong George Lucas connection. I know there's like a fringe group of people that like to hate on Dave and that don't like Dave, but it's obviously not bared out to the wider Star Wars fan base. Like, I don't see it. I see a lot of people really liking Dave Filoni and Dave Filoni shit. So Filoni is kind of an X factor for Star Wars as a brand. Now, Star Wars has an incredible amount of problems, very similar to DC in the way that they've fractured their fan base. And I know a lot of people are going to, jump on me about this, but Andor is a part of that. I know that might seem crazy, but I said it at the time and I say it now. Andor was something that actually just fractured the Star Wars fan base further. I know some of you can't believe that. You're like, but Andor's so good. Guys, when you look at Andor being discussed online, are you seeing like good things? You like what you see? You like what you see? It's even possible that The Mandalorian Season 3 underperformed because there were some people that actually did like Andor so much that they couldn't just accept the sort of more pulpy, more Buck Rogers Saturday morning cartoon vibes that The Mandalorian has, that I would argue all of Star Wars, all of real Star Wars has had. So you just basically are paying $250 million to get Tony Gilroy to offer up a different flavor of Star Wars that does nothing but divide your fan base. So they've done a lot of similar things, right? This is very similar to when Warner Brothers was riding with Zack, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, why don't you just Avengers this shit? And then you get the Justice League, and the fallout from that is like still obviously huge. It fractured the DC fan base, right? And that's the same thing that kind of happened with Andor. I think it might even be the same thing that happens with Acolyte. And yeah, it's a really tough spot for Star Wars itself. On top of that, I think Star Wars has just held a lot of L's across the board. You know, like, again, you're getting to this point where even people that have defended Kathleen Kennedy around the time of The Last Jedi are now calling for her to be fired. I saw Bespin Bulletin put out an article recently, and the headline was James Mangold debunks Kathleen Kennedy lies about working on the Boba Fett film. And that's not verbatim, right? Like, I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially the gist of it. And so when you have Bespin Bulletin putting out articles like that, sort of low-key taking shots at Kathy, I think it's become obvious that across the board, Star Wars fans just don't like the fans that are still just stalwartly defending Kathleen Kennedy are very few and far between. Okay, just so many boneheaded decisions, so many foot in mouth moments. You know, a little bit similar to Gunn. I would say that she's done, despite not being on social media, she's done way more, way worse. And that has led to a lot of where we're at, right? But having said that, it would appear that she's at the end of her tenure. You know, and I really think, I mean, it's funny because we just watched The Flash bomb so spectacularly that it's, I mean, wow. And the toxicity around the Flash, like I'm sure you guys have seen it. I made a few tweets. I don't know if you've seen those. The toxicity around the Flash is on another level. You know, I'm curious how the toxicity will be around Indiana Jones. And I think we're prime. Like again, I was watching, Roka and them talk about it yesterday, and they kind of had the take that like, oh, it's probably not going to be as toxic because it's James Mangold, it's Steven Spielberg, it's all that sort of stuff. Whew. I'm going to go ahead and disagree with that. I'm going to say, and we'll find out soon, I'm going to say the toxicity will be just as bad, if not worse. And the fact that people don't see that coming, the fact that people don't understand that that's coming, is weird. Like, does anybody else disagree? Does anybody else disagree? I mean, I think that's just going to be incredibly toxic. I got a couple bullets in the chamber myself ready to fire off, you know? So, that's going to be rough. But at the end of the day, I think what could come out of that, which could be Kathleen Kennedy actually finally no longer being in charge, I think is actually like legitimately going to be good. And I know some of you guys are like, well, but the devil, blah, 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 like maybe it's not that bad. Guys, it doesn't matter. I would tell you that the damage being done, the frustration within the fan base, the reluctance for people to go support shit just because she is there is so high that even if you brought in a nutless monkey to do her job, there would be less toxicity. There would be more people going to the theaters. It's like an insta solution to a lot of these problems that, frankly, is baffling that it hasn't been made a long time ago. Okay? But this movie's going to bomb. Indiana Jones is going to bomb. There's literally no scenario in which it does well. The question is only, how bad is it actually going to do? You know what I mean? Like, how bad is it actually going to do? And I'm not sure. I guess we'll see. It seems like we're living in a time where people are pretty ready to sit stuff out. People are pretty ready to go see something else, go buy another type of beer, I mean, if you don't see what's going on, you're just not paying attention. Like, people are at an all-time high of fed the fuck up, And as a company, it's like your job is not to make a judgment call on that or try to like uplift your consumers. Like, dude, if you're a publicly traded company, you have one obligation which you are legally bound to make, and that's to make profit for your shareholders. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be pretty bad. But again, probably a good scenario for the overall health of Star Wars. I don't know who's going to get the job, but it kind of doesn't matter because Dave will, ipso facto become the guy. Dave's just going to become the guy. Unless John is kind of like waiting for the house to fall on the Wicked Witch and then he kind of steps up to the plate. It doesn't seem like John's really that interested in being very vocally supportive and taking any kind of a position at Star Wars. He's just a producer on Dave's thing, which is kind of unfortunate because the first buzz on that was that he and Dave were doing that together, So, in some weird way, I think if Star Wars loses Kathy, and I think if Ahsoka is as good as we think it can be, and the Filoni movie is fire. I mean, guys, the Filoni movie is in 2026. Unless things change. So the Filoni movie is now closer than Secret Wars. That's kind of wild. So they have a scenario out. They have a wild card in Dave that's so much more valuable than I think anything DC has going on. I personally think that they have a better chance than DC of making it out, of turning it around for the brand. There is, of course, similar to what Marvel's going through, some lingering baggage. Because even if Kathy goes, there's a lot of stuff that Kathy started that is probably going to happen. Ray movie. The Acolyte. That's pretty much it. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm like, fuck those projects, man. So, we'll see. But I wonder, chat, what percentage chance do you give Lucasfilm or Star Wars to turn it around? Let's go to the polls. %, or less. 25 to 50. 50 to 75. 75 to 100. Is the poll with or without KK? The poll is just considering the... No, I can't... No, it's neither. It's just in general, what do you think's gonna... You can factor in the possibility of her leaving into your thinking, which I have. But, yeah. Because, again, I think here's the thing. Even if KK goes, you still have KK projects that are going to probably come out. I highly doubt that Star Wars is going to, like, even if Kathy goes, I highly doubt they'll cancel the Rey movie. They will probably cancel the James Mangold movie, which is kind of a shame, but honestly, too, that guy is so weird lately. I'm like, I don't even know, bro. So I don't know. I think you're getting the Rey movie regardless. Like, what do you guys think? Does anybody honestly think they'll cancel the Rey movie? Are they going to cancel your movie? What you mean? What do you mean? There was a rumor that a Saudi crown prince offered $8 billion for Star Wars. Yeah, that is... I mean, do you even want that? Like, come on, guys. The fuck are you talking about? You know, it'd be great. Like, that does kind of speak to how sad shit is right now. That people are like, I'd literally rather have the Saudis. I mean, at least they have conviction. It's like, what the fuck happened, bro? Oh my god, bro. You fucking guys, man. You guys, you never fail. You never fail. You never fail to make me smile. So, nutless monkey better than Saudi prince. I mean, so a nutless monkey probably doesn't murder journalists in an embassy. You know. I mean, you know. Just a little different, you know? How about new Star Wars story not connected at all to the main trilogy stories? Yeah, sure. That'd be cool. You guys are wild, bro. Okay, let's look at this. Let's look at this poll. Poll results. Wow, pretty split. Pretty split. Looks like around 30% give it a 25 or less chance. 35% of you say they have a 25 to 50% chance. 25 okay, so it's really 26 now, say between a 50 and a 75% chance. And then about that same 10%, it's at 12% of you think they have a high chance to turn it around. That is pretty interesting, man. I'm going to personally say that I'm in the 50 to 75% chance that they will turn it around. And again, a lot of that has to do with Dave Filoni. If they lose Dave Filoni, by the way, 0% chance. I shouldn't say 0, but it's like very low. Like low enough that I would probably retire or something. I don't know. Some real gems in chat today. Yeah, that's, that's going to be a thing. So without Dave, I'd literally give them about a 0% chance. With Dave, though, I'm going to say 50 to 75. And I got to tell you, I'm pretty optimistic. If she goes and Dave stays, I just see that working itself out in a good direction. I don't know if I would say it's up to, like, I'd probably have to say maybe 55 to 60% chance. You know what I mean? But if Dave goes and she stays, well, if Dave goes just in general, it's 0. So it doesn't even matter if she stays, if Dave goes at that point. You know what I mean? So, we'll see. We shall see. Yeah. My dad dated a woman named Hope. She stole his house and left him homeless. Oh, that's sad. That's too bad. Okay. So that's kind of Star Wars, guys. Again, really dark times. Like, wow, I can't believe that we're in the times that we are. I mean, really, Andor was the start of my villain arc. It really was. And I just remember, like, that year was so wild because, I love doing Nerd Theory. I love, making Star Wars content, and covering Book of Boba was really fun. But it was also like, what the fuck is this show, dude? Like, the scooter kids, the crazy spin, the random-ass Mando episodes, Luke Skywalker Ubering Grogu back. There's a lot of weird shit, okay? And then Kenobi really did break me. I think Kenobi, I saw the Cosmic Wonder. Great. I don't know what's going on. Like, I have seen the Cosmic Wonder. I don't know, man. It just feels weird. It feels like the most shilly shit I've seen in a long, long time. But he was like talking about how much he liked Kenobi on the timeline. And I was just like, it's so bad, dude. It literally almost destroyed Star Wars for me. I think it's absolute dog shit. Total trash. But the last episode's not bad. So it's like weird in that sense that it kind of stops itself from being the absolute disaster that it was. The ending's like, okay. And then Andor, for me, I feel like I was already so fed up with everything. And then, like, when Andor just hit me and I was like, this isn't even Star Wars, I lost it. And I know some of you guys like Andor, but to me it was like, we went from pretty bad Star Wars to absolute shit Star Wars to Star Wars that's not even Star Wars. And I was like, holy crap, dude. Like, this lady has no idea what she's doing. It really did break me, man. It's weird to be where we're at with Star Wars. And those Mando season 3 numbers don't lie. And I think many people saw Mando 3 for what it was. And it's just a shame. But Ahsoka. Dave Filoni. So, I'm going to put it at 55% chance, okay? Now, let's talk about Marvel. Now, Marvel's a weird one. You know what I mean? Like, Marvel is a pretty weird one. I think, Phase 4 did a lot of damage. And I think there was a lot of people that were like, I remember going through Phase 4. And it's funny now because as much as now people kind of agree that it was pretty mid and pretty bad, I almost feel like I was one of the first people that was negative on Phase 4. This doesn't sound hopeful. Motherfucker, we're going to get there, okay? We got to start by setting the table. Holy shit. I remember watching the last episode of WandaVision and just being So disappointed. To the point where many of you guys were like, bro, I don't get it. That's so harsh. Like, what are you talking about? Like, oh, and some of you guys got really mad because I didn't like it. I thought Falcon and the Winter Soldier was one of the stupidest, like, wackest shows I've ever seen. There's good elements in it, but, like, bro, I can't take good elements and separate them from the way you present it to me as, you know, a fucking show. Scene by scene. Conversation by conversation. Plot point by plot point. Wow, was it bad. I thought it was so trash. Okay? Even the movies. You know, Shang-Chi's good, but I remember, like, Eternals, which, by the way, I have Eternals much higher than I did back then, but I remember watching Eternals just being like, wow, what the fuck is this, you know? Black Widow, whatever. There's good movies. I love Spider-Man No Way Home. I love Multiverse of Madness. And everybody in here that doesn't love Multiverse of Madness, you're wrong. You're wrong. But almost all of the Disney Plus shows were just, like, whatever, man. Like, even Moon Knight starts strong. It ends up being so whatever. You know? Hawkeye, cool, but also whatever. Loki, absolutely incredible. Unbelievable movie. Or unbelievable show. But, I mean, most of the other stuff is just whatever, dude. And I remember, like, going through that, and a lot of us were just like, okay, this feels different. This feels weird. And I think one of the things was I can't tell if maybe we should have gone harder, faster, but like Marvel just didn't make the changes fast enough, right? And I think Feige really underestimated how much good faith he had, or overestimated probably how much good faith he had with the fan base, how much he could just kind of fuck around and keep everybody engaged. Because Quantumania, Love and Thunder, bro, She-Hulk? I mean, man, bro, they set up a lot of stuff that's just goobly glob garbage. And that 1-2 punch of She-Hulk and Love and Thunder, I think that might have been the turning point. You know what I mean? I think that might have been the turning point. And even though Wakanda Forever was decent, it wasn't enough to wash the taste out. And then right around the corner was Quantumania, which is like, I think one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Not even comic book movie. I think it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. There were editing errors in that movie that made me just like want to run my head through a wall. You know, you're talking about movies that I will never watch again. I will never watch Love and Thunder again. I will never watch Quantumania again. You know? And so, like, to go from, okay, well, this feels different, but, you know, there's still some good stuff here and there, and then to just get kind of flooded with a bunch of bullshit, man, I really think it shocked the fan base. And so, to take it all the way back to, like, where we were at the beginning of the stream, you know, when I saw yesterday MCU Drew saying, you know, look, this AI thing is a non-story with Secret Invasion, and yet, like, it's everywhere. More people are talking about that than the actual show. And in this vibe of, like, you know, he said, like, everybody just wants to jump on Marvel and shit on Marvel right now. Like, that's true. But I also can't blame them. Again, I saw this happen to Star Wars, and it's, like, weird how it happens because you start to, like, slowly shed some fans. And then the ones that are still there begin to not even have a good time because so many of the fans that have sort of shed are now making the experience toxic everywhere. Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, streams, YouTube videos, etc. And that just kind of causes like a snowball effect, right? And that has led to this crazy, crazy spot that we're at right now where, like, I don't know about you guys, but I've never seen more negativity towards Marvel in my life. I've never seen more people talking about how Marvel is dead. I've never seen more people taking shots at Marvel, this, that, second, and the third. I've never experienced it in my life. And it sucks. You know what I mean? Now, as far as hope and how I think they're going to turn it around, I mean, you know, I've said versions of this in videos and streams over the past couple of years, but the truth is it really just is Kevin Feige. It is the Kevin Feige factor. And I think a lot of us feel that what happened in Phase 4 and even going into Phase 5 was that he delegated more than he had in the past. And because there was so much need for content because of Bob Iger and Disney Plus, it wasn't Chapek, it was Iger. You had this complete unraveling of the quality control that Marvel had been known for, and juggling all of these different things and all of these different factors. I mean, I personally think Disney Plus is maybe the worst thing ever to happen to Star Wars and to Marvel. Because, like, yeah, there's some good stuff. I really like the Mando. I'm excited for Ahsoka. But the constant frequency of, like, mid to shit content, I mean, it has done a lot of brand damage, right? What we're seeing now is that they're slowing things down a lot. And it seems like they have a strategy with the Disney Plus shows where they're going to try to make them as good as they possibly can. And if they're still kind of shit, they'll just drop them all on the same day, like what they're doing with Echo. And I do expect Echo to be pretty bad. But at least we're not going to have to talk about Echo for like umpteen weeks, right? It'll kind of be a one and done. We can all just watch the Daredevil episodes and move on with our lives. And I think, as crazy as that is classic Kevin Feige. That is White Suge Knight. That is the right move. It's a little brutal. You know what I mean? It has a twinge of brutal. You know, like these people, you know, they can't celebrate in the same way that some of these other people are going to be able to with their shows, etc. But that's what you need to do, bro. And I expect that if there are other shows like that in the Marvel catalog, they will get the same treatment. And that's like, oof, that's tough, but also what's needed. Okay? On top of that, let's talk about the Marvels a little bit, because the Marvels is a big question mark for Marvel Studios, because I think it is uniquely positioned to be a movie that causes a ton of controversy for Marvel Studios, and a movie that, like, if it bombs and people just shit on it, that's going to be very damaging. Very damaging. Right? And they delayed it all the way to November, and they've made a lot of like reshoots, and they've been changing it. So let me talk to you a little bit about, and then we're gonna go into some slight spoilers here. Let me just ask you, does anybody in here care if I spoil some things from the Marvels? Anybody? Bueller? Anybody? Bueller? Anybody? Yeah. So I see a few yeses in there. Why don't you guys just check out for a couple of minutes? Because I'm going to do it. Okay? So maybe just 2 or 3 minutes. Check out. You know, tab out, mute the stream, go take a pee, go take a poop, do what you got to do. Okay. So the Marvels recently had another test screening. Okay, and this was the first test screening since they made a lot more changes to the movie, okay? It was apparently so rough that, like, a lot of the CGI scenes were... I mean, this is pretty common in screenings where there's unfinished sequences, you know, a lot of weird stuff in it. But this one was like, yo, really bad. And that's because they've made all of these different changes, okay? Apparently, it screened much better than it had in the past, and that movie was screening pretty poorly for a lot of different audiences, okay? So it's apparently screening a lot better than it was. A couple of things that are going to be in the movie. Number one, I think they've cut out some of the more goofy elements. I think they've cut out some of the more overtly, you know, like feminist elements and things like that. I mean, there's still obviously going to be a lot of that stuff in there, but I think they just toned down the flagrancy of it. Luckily, Wanda and I don't know if I think the incursion is still in it, and I'm pretty sure Monica does get trapped in the other universe. Okay. And there's something really interesting that's going on with these two post-credit scenes. I'm going to probably do a whole video on this, right? But the two post-credit scenes are going to be, one, Monica meeting her mother as Captain Marvel in the universe that she goes into. Okay? Which seems really fucking cool and could lead into some really interesting stuff. And then the other one is kind of weird. It's a scene where Kamala Khan is going to be recruiting Kate Bishop into the Young Avengers. Okay? And so the first one, like, we've sort of talked about that before. That's really cool. I'm really excited for, like, a potential set. I don't even know if it's 838. Somebody put it was 828. What the fuck is 828? Hope it's just 838. So we didn't technically see her die in Multiverse of Madness, right? But that's pretty cool, man. Connecting it to that and that whole idea of, like, the universes fighting and everything like that, I like it. The other one, though, is kind of weird, and I'm curious as to what you guys think about this. The Young Avengers, man. The Young Avengers. So it really seems like they're going to push Young Avengers. I mean, if they're doing a post-credit scene in the Marvels to set up the Young Avengers, it kind of seems like Young Avengers is going to happen pretty quick. And I wonder what you guys think about the Young Avengers happening potentially before the Avengers are happening. Right? And so Kate recruits Kamala. No, it's actually the other way around. I actually thought it was that way, but it's Kamala that recruits Kate. Yeah. So, yeah, who's in it? I mean, that's a good question. They're probably going to combine the Champions and the Young Avengers. And, like, part of me is like, man, I don't know about that. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, but I actually like a lot of those characters more. Like, I think Kate Bishop's a really fun character. And potentially really great in combination with other characters. She's also an Avengers fangirl, similar to Kamala. So that's kind of cool. I like Kamala Khan. I think Iman does an incredible job with that character. I think her show was mid as fuck, but that's not her fault. It has some cool elements in there. So I like that character. And I genuinely think those two characters together is kind of interesting, right? I mean, who else could be on the Young Avengers? Hulk's son, who we know nothing about except for the fact that he's just brooding. Cassie Lang, can you recast her again, please? That would be awesome. I mean, who else? Who else is there? I mean, Iron Lad for sure, but, like, we don't have an Iron Lad. Like, who's Iron Lad? Is it going to be Iron Heart? You know, maybe Eli Bradley. I mean, I thought Eli Bradley did great in that show. He's one of the bright spots. But I haven't really seen him, doing too much more, right? Young T'Challa. That's a good point. He's young right now, though. So, Billy and Tommy. Yeah, that's possible. Billy and Tommy. That's also possible. Josh, do your best baby voice. Do my best baby voice. Nah, I'm chill. Josh was once more Haley Steinfeld. I mean, you're not wrong. America Chavez. Again, like, a lot of people shit on America Chavez. I actually thought she did great, dude. Like, I really thought she did great in that movie. So I would kind of like them together, you know what I mean? Older Morgan Stark, maybe. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's kind of interesting. And I think at the end of the day, Marvel has a lot of cool shit coming. The Fox X-Men and Deadpool 3, like, bro, I have a big Deadpool 3 video. It's going to drop over the weekend. That is hype as fuck, bro. I went out there and found every little thing that everybody's saying about Deadpool 3, and it's just bananas, dude. I think the main thing to keep in mind, though, is it's like Spider-Man No Way Home with the Fox X-Men. And my God, what a good move on Marvel's part to have that be the first movie of next year. We've got Red Hulk coming next year. We've got Sentry coming. There's some really cool shit on the horizon. And so I really do expect them to turn it around. My question, or I guess my concern is, how much of the bullshit are we going to have to go through until we get there, right? It's like similar to the DC thing. It's not as bad as Feige saying, like, we're rebooting, but here's all this other shit. But it's kind of similar, where there's a lot of change. There's a lot of newness. There's a lot of new stuff coming, but there's still the Ironheart show. There's still Agatha. There's still, what's the one? The Marvels. There's still, like, dude, there's still a lot of stuff that feels like it came out of that, phase 4 thinking that seems really stupid, that I don't want, that is going to not be that enjoyable. So the question is, how much damage will that continue to do to the brand before we get there? But, I mean, I guess we could go to the polls. We could go to the polls and see what you guys think. See what you guys think. See what you guys think. What do you think? What chance, what percent do you think it has? Wakanda Forever, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and Secret Invasion have been quality this year. That's true. I guess technically you could have saw Wakanda Forever this year. I kind of consider it the last year. But yeah, I mean, look, I like the first episode of Secret Invasion. And I've heard episode 2 is even better. And maybe it'll be, even better after that. But I mean, that shit's not going to compare to Deadpool 3. Like, that's not going to do what Deadpool 3 could do to Marvel. You know what I mean? So, new characters and teams can't fix bad writing. I mean, that's true. No call-ins today, Kendall. Just because we are going to do the Diamond Lounge stream. So, I mean, we've already been kind of going for a while here, and by the time we get done with Q&A, we'll probably be looking at like an hour and a half all the way to 2. So, no call-ins today, brother. Can we get some toast? What you mean? Where is Vision? Well, they're going to do Vision Quest. It seems like Vision Quest might tie into the Young Avengers as well, which could be interesting. Shang-Chi 2 was confirmed. By who? By who? I mean, I'm pretty confident it's happening, but I don't know if Marvel ever confirmed it. Maybe some scoopas did. Maybe some poopa scoopas. Maybe some poopa scoopas. Ms. Marvel, Kate Bishop, Mariah Chavez, Ironheart, She-Hulk, Echo, Yelena. I'm seeing a pattern here. Hashtag no men. I mean, real talk, that is an issue, bro. Like, that is a lot of female characters. I think not only do you need some male characters in there, but what you really need is some masculine characters. Not necessarily the same thing, right? You need some masculinity. We need some testosterone back in the MCU. But between Sentry and Red Hulk and Wolverine and multiple Wolverines, a Deadpool. I mean, look, I think you're going to get a lot of testosterone. We'll see, though. Cancel Wonder Man? I mean, I'd cancel Wonder Man, but they're still going to make that shit. Wow. Guys, look at the difference. Wow. Okay, so with both Star Wars and DC, it had about 10% of you guys thinking they had a 100% chance to, or 75 and 100% chance to pull it around. That is flipped, and it's only 10% of you that are giving them a 25 or less percent chance. On top of that, it's only 20% of you that have it between a 25 and a 50% chance. And the overwhelming majority of almost 70% of you guys are above the 50% line. 31% of you are 50 to 75. 38% of you are 75 to 100. So again, like, many of you guys are on the same page that I'm on. By the way, I give them you know what? I'm just gonna say it: 100% chance, 100% chance that they will turn it around. 100, not 99, not 98, not 80, 100%. That's how confident I am. 100%. Yeah. So we are going through a dark time. There are bad things happening. And I do think there's reason to be concerned for all of these nerdy things, including Marvel. There are reasons to be concerned. You know, a lot of this is actually, in my opinion, a lot of this is kind of Disney shit. Like, I'll tell you this. Like this, and this is maybe more of what we're going to talk about on the Diamond Lounge tonight when I get a little drunk and I start really start spitting. But like, bro, this is kind of all Disney's fault. Bob Iger and Disney were like, hey, Feige, nice $23 billion you grossed in 10 years. Have you ever heard of streaming? Think you want to make a shit ton of streaming shows? Bob Iger was the one that is taking away their marketing budget. Like, how many people even knew that Secret Invasion was coming out this week? You know, and Bob Iger has the fucking gall to get out there and talk about Marvel, like talk about, well, maybe we don't need sequels anymore. Motherfucker, you're making Toy Story 4. I'd like to take his little fucking sweater. God damn it, that motherfucker. So, this is a personal opinion here, but I think Feige and Marvel working in spite of Disney, I think Disney's weighing them down. I think Disney's the problem. I think Disney sucks. To a degree, they're also the problem with Star Wars, but I mean, like, Kathy took that ball and ran with it. You know what I mean? Oh, Toy Story 5? Yeah. Wait. And then he literally was like saying in investor calls and shit, like, oh, well, we don't have the budget to promote or market a lot of this stuff. My God, bro. And so I think there's a lot of hope for Marvel. There's a lot of hope that Feige will turn this thing around. The problem is with Secret Invasion being delayed. And the other thing that's really weird is, like, think about how unlucky Feige has gotten. You know what I mean? Think about how unlucky they have gotten. Chadwick Boseman, tragic passing. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, literally called Pandemic Productions LLC, and they have to totally gut it and change it. Pandemic itself happening at a time when they've almost tripled their output. You know? Sony taking back Tom Holland Spider-Man. Jonathan Majors. Tenoch Huerta. Writer's strike. SAG strike. Crazy. Like, it's crazy. The amount of shit that they have had to deal with has been pretty ridiculous. So, I mean, it's just crazy. Like, considering all of that. You know what I mean? Crazy. So I just, I wanted to kind of put some positivity out there. Ironically, it's still kind of a negative stream because we had to talk about where we're at. But guys, this is where we're at. Like, we are going through this really weird, really dark time. I'm trying to figure it out, myself. I'm trying to, because I've been negative on, streams. I've been negative on Twitter. I've been negative in the videos. I have a really hyped up Deadpool video coming out, and I'm really excited about it. But it's hard for me to, like, be a cheerleader or get hyped when we are kind of going through this shit still. And Secret Invasion was cool, but Secret Invasion wasn't cool enough for me to, like, get super hyped up about it, try to make videos about it, and be excited. I wanted to be in today's stream, give a fair shake to it all, kind of just put my feelings out there and just kind of say, like, look, guys, like, it's going to be okay. We will get through it. We will get through it. But, also make no mistake, this is the darkest time I've ever experienced as a nerd. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Cole, how can I get into the lounge tonight? Please try to hit me up on Twitter or Discord. Probably just do both. And I'll be picking through DMs as I get a little closer to that. And I'll send you the link, man. Otherwise, like, you have to go through the Discord, and they will, put you in there. Spider-Verse delayed. Yeah, but, like, that was obvious. Like, they took 4 years shooting the second one. They hadn't shot anything for the second one. Sony was like, that's just coming out next year. And everybody else was like, what? So, yeah. Okay, let's get into the Q&A. Let's get into the super chats. Let's get into the member chats. We'll see what y'all have to say. Spend some time, Let's just spend some time together and just touch on these different topics. Lord Vito says with a 5 spot, I'm here to gamble and post quotes, and I'm all out of quotes. My man, hope you haven't lost your ass in Nerdcoin today. Hope you won some. Ethan says, woohoo! Finally on my summer schedule so I can actually hang out in the live streams for a few months. Love this community. Nerdvengers for life. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. I've been thinking a lot about the community today. I've been thinking about just how, I've been kind of toxic, and I know there's a lot of people that want to be positive. Look, the Nerdvengers was founded under the principle of getting together and enjoying this nerdy shit together. That was the whole idea. I was like, we're gonna do this thing with the Nerdvengers. We're all gonna get together. We're gonna get excited about it. We're gonna amplify our experience being a fan by going deep on different things, talking about theories, doing all this sort of stuff. That's what it's supposed to be. It sucks that we are at where we are at. I don't like it, but I also can't deny it, and I can't just go full shill mode and pretend that there's nothing behind the curtain. Pay no attention. It's fine. No, it's not fine, bro. It's definitely not fine. I think it will be fine, though. You know what I mean? That's genuinely what I believe. Mariana says, I don't think I'm going to watch The Acolyte. Ooh, I'm really on the fence about that one. Like, man, I mean, we'll see. Like, if this... How far away from Acolyte? And they are just like... I feel like anytime anything comes out about Acolyte, I feel like anytime somebody from Acolyte opens their mouth, I'm just like, what? Do you want people to watch this show? We'll see. Yava Trooper says, 1 more month till the Diamond Lounge. Keep with the truth, bud. Oh, hell yeah, man. Appreciate you a lot, man. And we'll do a Diamond Lounge next month, and hopefully we'll be able to actually, like, cheer some good stuff. Maybe... Kathy's gone, and Dave's in charge or some shit. Who knows? Mr. JB, again, thank you so much for the 5 gifted, man. Very generous. Rosie says, people need to stop this stupid talk about Zuck versus Elon. It will never happen. You watching UFC Emmett versus Tapora this weekend? It's a fantastic fight. I don't know if I'll be able to watch it. My mother's coming into town. I've got like a bunch of family coming into town. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm not sure. Maybe. And as far as the Zuck Elon fight, I mean, I just have a totally different view of it. I think it's kind of fucking awesome. And I think they're really going to do it, dude. Like, Dana White talked to them both yesterday. And they're going to do it. It'll happen next year. It'll be $100 pay-per-view. All the money will go to charity. And for a lot of reasons that probably a lot of you guys don't want to hear, I think it'll be a net positive for the human race. Maybe we'll talk about that on the Diamond Lounge. Genesis, with a very generous $14 holla, says, yo, Josh, I've seen all of Bleach and thought it was awesome, but then I watched Naruto. How dare you? 10 times better and way more world building. It can be very dark and gritty. Finish the first arc, and you will be hooked. Much love. Well, the next thing on my list is reading the Black Clover manga. I absolutely loved that Black Clover movie, bro. I thought it was so cool. I really like Black Clover. And the manga is apparently dope as hell, so I'm excited to get into that. Robert V, welcome back to the Nerd Avengers, man. Appreciate the support. Yeezy for Sheezy says, the Across the Spider-Verse animator comments aren't good. Beyond the Spider-Verse 2025 plus. Yeah, but I would rather wait. Like, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but Across the Spider-Verse showed me it's worth the wait. I want to wait as long as I have to be sure that we are going to get that quality again. You know? I will wait. Which I really think all the studios should kind of pay attention to. It's so weird that, like, streaming... Like, I think there was this thought of, like, oh, my God, streaming's the future. And, like, streaming, you just need content. Stream. And I think at the end of the day, when you look at what people are actually watching on these streaming services, they're watching high-quality shit. You know? Like, there's a reason that the most watched stuff on Netflix is, like, that's, like, their good shit, and then everything else is like barely watched. Most of the stuff on Netflix, I would say like 80 to 90% of their entire catalog is barely watched. About 10% of it does all the heavy lifting. There's a concept in business known as the 80-20 rule, and it's roughly that 20% of your output will account for 80% of your like profit, value, whatever you want to call it. So you get a lot out of a small amount of what you do. And I think the streaming strategy at first was go. But I think now all of these studios should pull back on that and just like you need to just take your time, because all this content is eventually streaming content, all of it. And in 5 years from now, nobody, I mean, I shouldn't say nobody, but not a lot of people are going to be going back to watch She-Hulk, right? But in 5 years from now, Across the Spider-Verse and Into the Spider-Verse, depending on what streaming service it lands on, right, could end up being one of the most watched things on the streaming platform. I mean, technically speaking, that first movie being on Netflix for like 6 years straight directly led to the huge fan base that it had and how much money was made with the second movie. So it's possible that like people were just wrong, man, about streaming. So I am totally cool with it. Bro, you could tell me you're not making that shit till... I mean, guys, they dated an Avatar movie for 2031. You know? Like, let's just wait. It's fine. Purple Luch Avenger, welcome back to the Nerd Avengers. My man. Carl says, DC has one hope. Cancel everything until Superman. The rest of these movies will bomb. Marvel is fine. Fury is the MCU. I mean, I really like Nick Fury. I quite enjoyed that first episode of Secret Invasion. Kind of funny. I actually want to rewatch the first episode of Secret Invasion. I haven't had that feeling since Loki. You know, real talk. I haven't had that feeling since Loki for the Disney Plus show, where I was like, I watched the episode like when it first comes out, and then like I want to watch it later that day or like the next day. I'm thinking about it still. I've been thinking about the Secret Invasion episode. Like, I just keep thinking about it. I kind of want to go back and watch it again, and that's really nice, man. That's really nice. Moon Knight was a great show too. I disagree. I thought the first episode was good. There's some good in the show, but I thought it kind of really just... Yeah, I don't think it pulls itself together. I don't. I think Moon Knight's pretty goobly glop. But Secret Invasion, though, even though it's a little clunky, it's so good as a first episode. It does everything a first episode needs to do. you know? And I think that in and of itself is making me want to watch it more than other things. And then Carl's point's kind of interesting, right? He's saying, like, all these movies will bomb. I completely agree. But at this point, I think the damage is done. Like, what does canceling Blue Beetle and Aquaman 2 do for you? It doesn't do anything. Like, if you were going to do this right, you should have canceled everything that came out this year. That would have been like 1 point something billion of tax write-offs. And instead of that, you're losing money, getting embarrassed, further dividing your fan base. But I think the damage is done. I guess it depends on what happens next year. But unless I'm mistaken, the only DC thing that comes out next year will be the Joker, right? Is there anything else DC coming out next year? I think it's just the Joker. So that's good. You know what I mean? It's good. Get that break, man. Get that break. Yeah, Joker 2. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Joker 2 is going to bomb as well. Okay, which is going to be really ironic because the Joker movie, the first Joker movie did so good. But, I mean, musical? That's a bold move. That's a bold move, dude. Musical. Okay. Okay, Renee, $15 holla, very generous, man. Says, Baby Venger and Mama going home today. I miss my Nerd Vengers fam. Much love to you. Get it, giving the last super chat before it becomes diaper funds. Oh, no, I totally get it, Renee. And I'm glad everything went smooth, man. And it's so good that you guys are going home. I remember the first time we went home after Liam was born. And it's just a totally different vibe, man. Like just getting back to the house and bringing the baby into the home for the first time is such a trippy feeling. You know what I mean? But it was really cool. I remember really enjoying that time period. So live it up, my man, and I appreciate the support. Finto says, did you see one of the editors from Across the Spider-Verse confirm there are multiple versions of the movie showing in theaters? Like, what? Yeah, it's pretty wild. They also used AI in that movie. I don't know if you guys know that, but they used AI to make some art for Across the Spider-Verse. So maybe let's lay off trying to make that a thing. You know? It's the movie that had more artists than any other movie ever working on it. So it created more jobs than any other movie. It also used AI. You see, AI is just a tool. It's not a thing to get so butt hurt about. But anyway, yeah, I did see that. And yeah, multiple versions of a movie. You know, speaking of AI, let me say this. Wouldn't it be kind of crazy if in the future, when you went to see a movie, it was slightly different every single time you saw it in theaters, and AI was making dynamic choices considering who was in the audience and what was going on in the world to make little interesting comments here or there or something like that. I don't know. Do you guys think that would be crazy? Or do you think that could be cool? That would suck? Okay. It's blurring the line of video games and movies a little bit. You know? Waking Life. Waking Life's a great movie. I haven't heard anybody bring that up in a long time. That's a really great movie. Is it that much different than what's going on right now? There are multiple versions of Across the Spider-Verse in the theaters, right? How do you guys feel about that? Some of them have extra jokes. You know? I kind of think it would be cool. Like if I've heard people say this joke before, where like they sit down and watch a movie they've seen many times, and they're like, well, you know, I've watched this movie 10 times, and all 10 times he gets the girl, but I wonder if this will be the time that he doesn't. You know, and that's obviously a joke, but like, what if that's not a joke in the future? I don't know. It kind of seems like a pretty intriguing interesting way to engage with your entertainment. It's kind of crazy. Okay, Jared N says, if Secret Invasion and Ahsoka bomb, Disney Plus finished, you check out the Stan Lee documentary. Then it goes. Get the X-Men in the MCU and we're good. I agree with the X-Men thing. I did not see the Stan Lee documentary. And if Secret Invasion and Ahsoka bomb, is Disney Plus finished? No, not necessarily, but I think they might just they might really take a step back, which they're already doing. But yeah, man, I think if Ahsoka really underperforms, that's going to be really concerning for Star Wars. That's like panic mode, I would say, for them. We'll see how it all goes. But then what you might see is like a shift where Disney Plus, and this is something that Disney's already exploring and something that, HBO is exploring. But like maybe you have a Disney Plus premiere and then the show gets licensed out to other things, So there's all kinds of ways they could sort of mess with it. But I think at the end of the day, like, they're just spending way too much money. The value proposition really isn't there. So something's got to give. I'm not quite sure how it will go down. But if Secret Invasion doesn't get views, and if Ahsoka doesn't get views, I mean, yeah, Disney Plus really should change quite a bit. Jimmy B says, thankfully, we're getting Invincible this year, and Hot D is filming. Those are no-brainer dubs. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit concerned about Hot D. Shorter season, no Miguel Sapochnik. I'm a little worried about it. But, yeah, it should be good. And, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff coming, like Rebel Moon. Why didn't you mention that, Jimmy? Mariana with a $10 holla, very generous, says, totally get why you in theory hate Kenobi, but in every video his put out since then, he's been like, Reva this, Reva that, and I get it, I hate her too, but it's kind of getting old, just my thoughts. Yeah, you're totally... Look, Mariana, you are absolutely free to feel that way, but I'm just going to tell you this, from our perspective, it'll never not be about Reva. Like... I think, and I said this, I made a video about the leaks before the show even came out, right? It was a massive video. It did huge numbers for us. And the reason that video blew up, the reason it's such a big deal is because it feels like something of it like the perfect example of like Kathleen Kennedy injecting things being ridiculous. It was the quintessential example of that. And so therefore, for a lot of people like myself in theory, it'll always, like forever, always be the thing. So if you're sick of it now, I mean, it's only going to keep going, like, and again, you have every right to feel how you feel about it. But a lot of us, and this happens to include people like Theory and myself, think it's like one of the stupidest things they've ever done. And I'll never stop talking about it. Like, ever. Rosie says with a $10 holla, very generous, Gunn is starting in a deficit since he killed the old DCU and the way it was handled. Most nerds loved Cavill. Yeah, I agree. Plus, the way he also rolled out his new plans, he already has not endeared himself to the fans. Oh, no, I know. And I went really, really hard on him on Monday. And I feel the same way that I do today. I'm just choosing not to go as hard because I'm trying to be a little less toxic today. But, yeah, no, he's horrible at leading the company. Also, by the way, did you know that he was the last person to get that offer? Technically, and this was reported, Zaslav went all over Hollywood. Nobody wanted that job. The last person that he could get to do the job was Peter Safran, and Zaslav wanted Safran to do the job on his own. Safran's idea to bring James Gunn in. So James Gunn was never even a thought for David Zaslav. And nobody serious in business would ever consider a director to run an entire company. But because Warner Bros. Is in such a poor state, Safran got the gig, and Zaslav agreed to allow James Gunn to come in and play with the toys. Probably something he's regretting a lot right now. So, look, I think Gunn is a fine filmmaker. I think I still have hope for maybe what he'll do with Secret Invasion, but he might have one of the worst and shortest tenures as the leaders of a major like studio in all of time. So yeah, no, he's pretty bad. Philip Hatch with a $5 holla says, Josh, are you pumped for are you more pumped for Rebel Moon or Dave's movie? That's a tough one. You're making me choose between mom and dad? I don't wanna. I don't wanna. No, I don't wanna. I don't know. I guess it would be Dave's movie just a little bit. Dave's movie edges it out just a little bit. Just a little bit. Because I have more of a personal connection to Dave. Like, Dave went to the same college I went to. He came back and spoke to me when I was a young student, did this really cool thing. I really like Dave Filoni. I have a personal connection to him. So, probably Dave by a little bit. Chiboe says, hot take, Bree did nothing wrong. Fight me. I don't want to fight you. I just totally disagree. DAC with a $10 holla says, I'm excited for the Marvels. Anytime Monica's on screen, I'm in. LOL, you think Blue Marvel will be in the movie? No. I'm hoping for him for sure. I mean, it's called the Marvels. Yeah, wouldn't that be cool? Nah. You've met him? Oh, yeah, I met Dave, yeah. Rosie says, is Hulk's son a real thing? Did I miss him in a show? Yeah, he was in She-Hulk. But you don't have to watch it. Just take our word for it. DAC says, why do I feel like the Subson American... Why do I feel like they sub in America out for Kamala when it comes to them building the MCU Ultimates team? Love the Ultimates when they fight Galactus and win. Yeah, no, I mean, the Ultimates is cool, man. I think it's just a combo. I don't think they're pushing anybody particular out. I think it's just a combo. So, yeah. Wrench City says, you forgot Thor's new daughter for the Young Avengers. Yeah, I guess. Chiboe says, what if... But no, she's not going to be an Avenger. She's out there hanging out with Thor doing, like, cosmic shit. What if Shang-Chi 2 could be the next Avengers movie? They adapt the Tournament of the Seven Kingdoms instead with different multiverse fighters. That could be kind of fun. I think it will be Avengers Light, and I think it'll deal with time travel and Kang and stuff like that. Unless they, like, really, change it up and all that, so... DM'd you for the diamond if you deem me worthy. But you got to be a 6-month member, man. You got to be a 6-month member. Like, that's just the rules. John's Honest Takes says, my entire game/theater room is all Marvel. I have memorabilia of every MCU movie pre-pandemic. I've lost hope. Kevin doesn't get a pass anymore. Sure, Disney messed up big, but still, I'm so turned off. I understand. And I feel like more Marvel fans need to understand where people like you are at. I don't think it's healthy, and this is not a slight at MCU Drew, because I understand where he's at. But I don't think it's healthy to get mad at other fans for being mad at Marvel. I think we all should be a little mad at Marvel. The difference is some of us are just like, no, like, it's going to be okay. I still like this. I still like that. And some of us are like, fuck that. It's over, and I'm furious. And I think instead of being like, well, then you're not a real fan or whatever, we should just be like, well, man, I understand where you're at, and I think it's going to get right back to where it was. And if it does, I can't wait to be cheering next to you, getting excited about this stuff again. But if not, shit, man, we had a good run, Frosto Damas says, hey, Josh, love you as always. Did you see the stuff about Major's case yesterday? Pretty interesting and looking good for him in Marvel. Yeah, I haven't really commented on that too much. I mean, I just don't know how much stake. So apparently, guys, this is what happened. The lawyers, Jonathan Major's lawyers, unless I'm wrong, somebody in chat help me with this, okay? Jonathan Major's lawyers leaked some stuff to an outlet known as The Insider, and then The Insider wrote a big article about some of that evidence and some of that stuff and painted Jonathan Majors in a really good light and said that maybe his ex was really horrible, suicidal, and like whack, right? Is that pretty much what it was? I'll wait. Chat, help me out here. I don't want to misspeak. I'm pretty sure that's what it was, right? Okay. So before I say my raw-ass feelings about this, let me first say it's absolutely possible that Jonathan Majors is innocent. It is absolutely possible that his ex-girlfriend was horrible. It is absolutely possible that she did some shit really fucked up and ruined this dude's life and career off of some dumb shit. That is absolutely possible. That is 100% possible. It is absolutely possible that this article is vindicating, that he will have the case thrown out, that he will still be Kang. All of that is absolutely possible. However, is this the same lawyer that told us the text messages were going to clear him? Is this the same lawyer that said it'll be thrown out before he's even arraigned? Like, I'm not there, guys. I'm just not there. The other thing is, it might not even be about this incident. Because maybe the lawyer can prove that his ex was whack. Well, what about all of these other people that came forward to the DA? I'm just not there. I would like to know what's going to actually happen in the next court case because we haven't had like an actual trial yet. You know? It's a tough one. But I'm not there, man. I saw a lot of people holding up that article as gospel. And I'm just not there. I would like to see where it actually goes, you know? So we'll find out soon. In August, I think more will happen. Super Battle Boy says, how do I join the Discord? Hopefully somebody in chat already helped you out with that. If not, I think you just put a exclamation point Discord and you should get the link. I'm cute, you're mad. Cool name. Says, aside from the first Deadpool movies, what movies / shows outside of the MCU should I watch to get into the No Way Home experience for Deadpool 3? Oh, man. X-Men 1, X2. That's it. Maybe Origins. So, but yeah, I would say just X1 and X2, which are great movies, dude. Great movies. Rosie says, facts are facts. You don't argue with those. No, but you argue about their derived meaning. Smokey Kenobi says, watched your Rey is Vader video yesterday, and god damn, you've come far. It's inspirational, man. Motivational. Anyways, I got money on Zuck. His BJJ solid. Oh, yeah, I 100% agree. Dude, if Musk doesn't train, like, I hope he actually trains, and that's going to be another thing that's really interesting to see is, like, what kind of transformation or change he does. But, like, if they fought today, Zuckerberg would be able to do whatever he wanted to Elon, despite Elon weighing so much more than him. Like, Zuck would literally make Elon his bitch and drag him around the octagon. He would do whatever he wanted to Elon. Whatever he wanted. So, Elon's got to show me something, man. Elon's got to show me something, and hopefully we get to see some training, and we get to see all of that. And even still, probably not going to be enough. I don't think. You know? Like, you know, do you know that he's... Because Mark isn't just training BJJ. Mark's training actual MMA. Mark has been taking punches, giving punches, actually training in MMA for like over a year now. BJJ is probably even longer than that. Elon's on Ozempic. So, you know, there's a little difference there, you know? Like, we'll see how it goes, right? Entertainment Crew says, looking forward to the 40K channel. Release soon? Yeah, really soon. Really soon. Working on the second video right now. And, yeah, man. I'm excited for that channel. I think you guys are going to dig it. Kenzie says, how do I join the Diamond Lounge? I'm downloading Discord right now. Okay, cool. Do you have Twitter, man? Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on Discord. You probably won't be able to figure the Discord thing out. I'm going to be honest. Just hit me up on Twitter. Or send me an email at thedenofnerds@gmail.com. I'll try to get you in there. Chillin' with a $10 holla, very generous, says, "Sup, Josh? Even though I've only been at this for just a year, I feel you on how things are right now. I'm going to keep pushing because I have things to say, and streaming is just fucking fun. Nerd Adventures for life, take my money." Oh, yeah, man. It's a weird game. I mean, guys, have you seen all the people? I don't know if you've seen this or not, but have you seen all of the people quitting streaming? Like Tfue, some other kind of smaller level people that I saw as well. Like, a lot of people are quitting because it is a lot. And, you know, like yesterday I was talking, we'll talk more about this tonight on the Diamond Lounge, right? But is it really like... This job and this gig is like a 24/7 weight on you. You know, a lot of you guys are like, just be you. You know, don't think about this, that, the second, and the third. Guys, my livelihood depends in a large way my relationship with my audience. My relationship with my audience is a huge part of, like, it actually affects me. So, like, you could say, just be authentic, don't worry about this, that, second, and the third. But you don't live it the way that I do. You don't experience Twitter the way that I do. You don't experience the comment section the way that I do. You don't experience the chat the way that I do. You don't experience looking at analytics the way that I do. It is 24/7, a massive weight. And people, even at the top of their game, like Tfue, who's absolutely killing it, millionaire, all of his dreams accomplished by 25, he's being crushed by the weight. It's too much. You know what I mean? So, you know, I tell more people than ever, you don't really want to be a YouTuber. You don't. You don't really want to be a streamer. Like, you might like the idea of it, and some of it's cool. Don't get me wrong. Some of it's cool. But you gotta ask yourself, am I really built for this? Do I really want this? I'm gonna tell you, for 90% of you guys, you don't. You don't want to be a YouTuber. You don't want to be a streamer. Some of you do, and some of you can't not be. You know what I mean? Feel that shit. If you can't not be a streamer, then go for it with everything you have. If you can't not be a YouTuber, then go for it for everything that you have. But if you just think it's a cool way to make a living, it's not. Like, straight up, I'll tell you, it's not. It reminds me of professional poker. This is kind of old school, but some of you guys know who Doyle Brunson is. I think Doyle Brunson said being a professional poker player is a really easy way to have a hard life. It's like a really easy job to make a hard living. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what it is. Darth Shibby says, finally can get into the Diamond Lounge. Woo! Nice. I'll see you there. Been replaying Skyrim. I wish Star Wars had a game like that, and Gunn needs to do live action Dick Grayson and the Titans. That would be cool. I like Dick Grayson and the Titans a lot. Titans was great. Ah, man, why am I blanking on the name? Perez, I think? Was it Perez? There was some people that were first working on the Titan stuff, and like, yo, it was a totally different vibe. It was very mature, really cool. I want to say it was George Perez. There's another person I'm thinking of that I can't. There's another like writer from back. I want to say, like, it's not Garth Ennis. Somebody help me out here. Who am I thinking of? Marv Wolfman, my man. Axid, you got it. Marv Wolfman. Dude, the old Marv Wolfman stuff. Whoo! That shit was dope, man. That shit was really cool. I'll see you later tonight. J Mike says, hey, Josh, any progress on the Fortnite Nerd Tower? No, and I feel bad about it. I haven't hit Elijah up. I mean, there's progress, but not like any since the last time. And I feel bad. I got to hit Elijah up. It's just been a very stressful week. A lot of stuff going on. But soon we will be in the tower playing some Fortnite. It'll be fun. C-Dub with the 10 spot says, if Love and Thunder bummed you out, go see Extraction 2. Hemsworth dominates. And that no-cut 10-minute prison break action sequence, I think it's actually 20 minutes, 17 minutes maybe, is one of the best choreographed fights ever. And I did see Extraction 2, and it is absolutely incredible. Extraction 2 is one of the greatest action movies of all time, and I can't believe it because Extraction 1 is completely forgettable. But Extraction 2 is like, it is that good, and you should check it out. Yeah, it's really good. Axid says, what's the format to give Nerd coin? We can't seem to do it. It should just be ! Give, and there shouldn't be any restrictions on it. I'm not sure what's going on. Locationary says, completely off topic, but I thought The Flash was she, but I surprisingly loved Sasha as Supergirl. Wanted to see her have her own film. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Obviously I haven't seen the movie. I don't know if I ever will, but I've heard mixed things about Sasha. I'm going to be honest with you. I've heard mixed things. I've heard some people go pretty hard at her, and some people think she's really good in the film, so I can't really offer an opinion on it, man. Vandolph the Black says, Secret Invasion fridged Maria Hill, bro. This won't affect the movies. If Maria wants to bring the nerds in, Disney shows must affect movies 100%. Or what's the point? Ready for the Diamond Lounge. Oh, I agree. Like, the fact that they played it so safe with how these shows affected the movies and the movie universe is true. Other than Loki, which, honestly, we haven't even really seen how that affects things. Yeah, totally true, man. It sucks. It's like they took one of the biggest value props that they had. C-Dub says, watch the Flash pitch meeting. Should we? Should we watch the Flash pitch meeting, guys? Should we watch it? I think we should, yeah. Pause that. Here we go.
So, you have a Flash movie for me?
Yes, sir, I do. And I'm thinking maybe we tap into some multiverse territory on this one. That's supposed to be a big trend coming up, so if all goes well with this, we'll be one of the first movies.
You know it, sir.
This idea is still fresh because it's roughly 2014 as we're having this conversation.
That is roughly the current year, so we'll be putting this out before the market gets oversaturated, assuming there are no production delays or anything horrible happens.
Hey, don't jinx it.
I didn't jinx it. I was just saying, hopefully nothing goes...
Was that a jinx? Did I just curse this production? It could have been some unrelated supernatural thing. I gotta say, that felt pretty cursy. Yeah, it felt a little cursy, but maybe we'll be okay.
Well, fingers crossed. So anyway, what happens in this bad boy?
Well, we're gonna start the movie by trying to, re-establish Barry as a heroic figure.
Is that gonna be hard to do? Actually, it's gonna be super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Oh, really? Yeah, see, I figure we just have him shove a little baby in a microwave.
What?
He doesn't leave it in there for long. When the bell dings, he takes it out. The bell dings, so the microwave was on? No, it was falling from a building.
What is going on?
A bunch of babies are falling from a building. Flash saves them all, eats a burrito, puts one of them in a microwave. All right, let's move past that. I don't understand.
Well, okay then.
Well, we're also going to show that Barry has this thing on his suit that tracks calories, tells him when he's running out of energy.
Oh, so he kind of loses his powers if he doesn't eat. Exactly. I bet that's going to come into play in a big way later.
Now that I think of it, not much, maybe a gag or two.
Oh, tracking calories for a while, but then just kind of neglecting to do it is tight.
You okay? I'm trying to drop a bit of weight, but they keep coming out with new Oreo flavors.
Oh my God.
Those bastards. Anyway, so Flash is gonna help save the day, and we're gonna see Batman, and Wonder Woman's gonna pop out for a second too.
Oh, I like that. I think it'd be great if she started doing that constantly eventually.
Just popping out for a single scene, smiling and leaving. Yeah, I could see that being a career trajectory for her for sure.
So what else happens?
Well, Barry's dad's gonna be falsely imprisoned for killing Barry's mom, right?
Uh-oh.
And so Barry realizes he can use the Speed Force to go back in time, so he goes and stops her from ever dying.
Very cool.
But then he actually gets knocked out of the Speed Force by another speedster, and then he meets a younger, more annoying version of himself.
More annoying? Oh my god.
Yeah, and so Barry realizes this is actually the day that he got his powers, so he brings himself to get the powers, but then loses his own.
Okay.
And then they see the General Zod is attacking.
A very coincidentally eventful day.
It sure was, sir. So Barry wants to get the Justice League together, but they don't exist in this timeline.
Why not?
Because this is an alternate timeline where we only paid those actors to be in the beginning of the movie.
Oh, okay.
But it turns out this timeline does have an older Batman. He's the one played by Michael Keaton.
He's from the Michael Keaton Batman movies.
He sure is, sir. The multiverse can be an excuse to bring back classic actors as a box office draw.
Very smart. Although, hey, do you think the concept of multiverses might kind of diminish the stakes since there are infinite versions of every character?
No.
Me neither. Okay, let's go all in.
Great, so they're gonna ask Batman to help, but he's gonna say no.
What?
For 2.5 minutes, then he says, yes, we gotta manufacture a bit of tension here.
Gotcha.
So now they realize they need to find Superman to help
Jeez.
defeat Zod, but when they get to where they think he is, it turns out to be Supergirl.
Oh, that's a different character. Still super, though.
And so they're gonna ask Supergirl to help, but she's gonna say no.
What?
For 2.5 minutes, then she's gonna say yes.
Right, good tension building.
Good tension.
She goes
Good
to check
tension.
out Zod,
Yeah.
who, as it turns out, is looking for her in this universe, not Superman.
Oh, okay.
And so she's like, oh, and she flies back to the good guys and helps our Barry get his powers back.
Zod doesn't follow her? You said she's the one he's looking for.
No, he doesn't, because it's not time for the final fight yet.
That makes sense.
So
That
then it
makes
is
sense,
time
yeah,
for the final
totally.
fight, so they head over there, but Batman and Supergirl keep dying.
Oh, dang it.
So the Flashes keep going back in time to try to save them, but no matter what they do, Batman and Supergirl die.
Wow.
So younger Flash kind of goes nuts and keeps trying, and the multiverse starts to collapse onto itself.
Oh.
And maybe this is too expensive and complicated, but I thought this could be a chance to showcase some alternate superheroes, you know, like George Reeve, Christopher Reeve, Nicolas Cage, Adam West, Helen Slater.
Of course that's doable. That's gonna be awesome. Oh, amazing.
Yeah. We'll just say the CGI looks bad on purpose.
So then what happens?
Well, so then we find out that the speedster that had knocked Barry out of the Speed Force earlier in the movie was actually a future version of past Barry who's still trying to save Supergirl and Batman.
Oh.
Yeah,
Damn.
but now present Barry has realized he needs to go let his mom die. He can't change things.
Very sad. Yep.
So then future past Barry's trying to kill the Barrys, so past Barry sacrifices himself to save main Barry and defeat future past Barry.
Right.
And so yeah, main Barry goes back and lets his mom die.
Wow, well, very powerful lesson he learned.
Fuck, dude, god damn
Well, he
it.
interferes a little to get his dad off the hook, so now Batman is George Clooney.
Oh, so he did not learn.
Yeah, a little bit, maybe not that much.
Well, okay then. So what do you think?
Good, I mean, this should be a massive hit. You know, unless one of the main cast goes on a violent crime spree or something crazy like that. Why would you say that?
It's just a hypothetical. There's no harm in saying hypotheticals.
Are you trying to get this movie cursed? Oh, crap, curses. Oh, maybe the universe didn't hear me say that.
Maybe let's just stop talking now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're okay.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, that's a curse. That's a curse.
Damn.
Hi, everybody.
Crazy. Maybe the biggest bomb of all time. We're going to have to see. John Carter, I think, holds that spot for now, but literally could be the biggest box office bomb of all time. Not just for comic book movies, for, like, movies. And I knew it was going to underperform. Not in my wildest dreams did I think it would bomb to this level. Okay, let's keep going. Victor says, forget Musk versus Zuckerberg. I want to see James Gunn versus Josh. Oh, I would love to see that. I would. Oh, man. What a treat. Saj Production says, but watch Elon have a secret microchip that allows him to just go nuts. Imagine Zuck goes off for 30 seconds, then Elon goes Thanos versus Hulk on him. Okay, so the best case scenario here, right, is the fight's like close or whatever, and then like it looks like Zuck's like taking it, and then all of a sudden Elon reveals himself to be an actual futuristic robot, and he like sheds his skin, and he's like, yo, like, I'm actually a fucking robot. Rah! And then, like, he starts smashing on Zuck. And then Zuck's like, guess what, motherfucker? I'm an actual lizard person. Blah! And then he comes out of his skin. And then we've got like robot, futuristic alien guy fighting against lizard person, whatever. Oh my God. Bro. I mean, what an incredible fight. What a cool moment for the human race, So, yeah, I'm excited. Okay, Kerr L says, do you still read comics? In my opinion, there are some great ones right now. Superman Lost, Ultimate Invasion, Batman, X-Men, and Spider-Man. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I do still read comics. I haven't read any in a couple of weeks though, and I do want to I want to read the Ultimate Invasion stuff for sure. As far as Superman Lost, I've heard it's good, so maybe I'll check that out. Is that Joshua Williamson? Who's writing that one? Moosty, what's up, brother? Says, hey, been a while. Just wanted to say I support you no matter what, as long as you're taking blinkers. My man, much love to you and your family. Thank you so much. And Locationary, thanks for the 10 gifted, man. That's crazy. Very generous. Appreciate you. Darth Baba says, I got my 2-year badge. Been enjoying the ride as a replay watcher. Much love, dude. I appreciate you. Thank you. Attila says, thank you for all your hard work. I can't wait to watch the new Warhammer channel, Nerd Vengers for Life. Yeah, man, I think you guys are really going to like it for sure. It's going to be cool. Toasted Geek says, all of you are lame haters. Ezra is innocent. Wow. Well, I think many of us disagree because we have eyes and ears and brains. And I don't know if there's much more to say than that. I think Ezra will probably never be in a big movie ever again. So, there you go. 8 p.m. Christopher Priest? No way. Christopher Priest is writing that? Damn, I might have to check that shit out, bro. Christopher Priest is a real one and a real OG. Damn, that's cool. I'll have to check that out. I was pretty toasted, so the movie was funny to me, but I was still off-put by the baby microwave scene. And what the fuck was that ending and end credit scene? Yeah, that's yeah. That's the guy that's gonna do Brave and the Bold. Can't you just so excited for that shit? Brave and the Bold, let's get it. Let's get it. I'll chill for like 5 more minutes, guys, then I'm gonna get out of here. I'm starving. I'm really hungry. I gotta go get some food. What's the 3-year badge gonna look like? I'm not sure. I gotta figure that out. Do you think bad DC movies negatively affect Marvel through fatigue? Absolutely. Absolutely they do. Yeah. Have you ever trained any martial arts? Yeah, so my father is, I think he holds 3 or 4 black belts, and he has a martial arts school, and for as long as I've been alive, he's had a martial arts school. So I was pretty much raised in a dojo, was doing martial arts from a very young age. Yeah. The Brave and the Bold has to compete with the Batman Part 2. Good luck. Yeah, that's a really interesting choice that they made. I mean, again, like, look, I know a lot of you guys like the Batman, but I mean, this just shows that he's not a good leader. James Gunn is like, oh, yeah, no, we can have the Elseworld of that. That'll be fine. And I'll also build up my Batman. I mean, like, you really think that's going to work, man? Like, do you really think that's going to work? Okay. Did you ever consider MMA? Yes. So before I blew out my knee for the second time, I actually didn't plan on going to college. I was training to be an MMA fighter. I love fighting, and not just like, like the aggression and like hitting people, but like the chess match of fighting. I really enjoy fighting as a strategic sport. And I think some of the best fighters in the world really remain very calm and calculated in a fight. You don't really see too many of like truly great fighters just going in like a raging Hulk and like trying to fight like that. That's not actually the best way to approach that. So yeah, I like fighting. I mean, unfortunately, I blew out my knee really bad. Like, really bad. So, probably out of the cards for me, but... Big Stevie says, 3-year badge? Nice. Hopefully, I'll be around more to deserve it. Oh, you're good, brother. I appreciate all the support, Stevie, and I know you've been dealing with some family stuff, and I got a lot of empathy for that, and I'm sorry that you're going through that, and so it's all good. It's all good, man. Locationary says, are there any 2 franchises you'd love to see come back together? For example... There was a plan years ago for Men in Black and 21 Jump Street. I remember that to come together, and that was canceled. Yeah, I do remember that. I can't quite. That's a really interesting question. First of all, I appreciate the support. That's very nice. Man, franchises. I don't know, bro. I mean, the 21 Jump Street Men in Black would have been funny. Transformers and G.I. Joe looks like they're doing something. I thought the Monsters universe, right? Like, remember when Tom Cruise did that Mummy movie and was going to be a part of he was going to, like, do their MCU over there? I'm going to sneeze. I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, it obviously didn't do well, but I thought it's a cool idea. Maybe the Godzilla universe joining up with some other universes could be fun. So, yeah, I don't know. That's a very interesting question. Yeah. Yeah. Spider-Man 4 is likely coming out 2 weeks before Superman Legacy. Sony listed a Spidey movie for June 2025. That's true. That's true. Bro, One Piece has been blowing my mind. 975 episodes in, and I've never felt more rewarded by a long-running anime. I've heard nothing but great things about it. It's just, it's really... Oh, no. Oh, no. I just saw something kind of sad. Do you guys want to see it? We can kind of... Should I just ignore it? Fuck. Locationary with another 10 gifted. My God, I appreciate the support. Holy crap, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Oh, no. So this is probably why it's going to take a long time to get to the next Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse movie. Let's look at this for a second here, okay? And I got to say, like, this is kind of interesting. Yeah. Okay. Multiple Across the Spider-Verse crew members have come out about unsustainable working conditions that caused 100 artists to leave the film. They were pushed to work 11-plus hour days, 7 days a week for more than a year. They attributed this to Phil Lord's management style, particularly his seeming inability to conceptualize 3D animation during the early planning stages and his preference to edit fully rendered work instead. Yikes. Artists were forced back to the drawing board as many as 5 times to revise work during the final rendering stage. Sony executives dispute claims about Phil Lord's management style. Amy Pascal admits involved major overhauls to both narrative and visuals along the way, but says 100 artists leaving is unsurprising when it's over 1,000 artists and techs that works on the film. So this is so weird, right? Like, obviously, that sucks. Are those people going to be angry or happy if they get replaced by AI? Right? Like, is AI actually more humane? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird, right? Because, like, we're all sitting here saying, like, oh, AI is going to replace all the jobs. Jobs where you work 11-plus hour days, 7 days a week? I fucking hope so. You know? It's just a weird time, man. It's just like a very, it's very interesting, you know? Fuck. Okay. Anyway. Anyway, that's probably why you're not going to see that movie for 2025, 2026. Is AI more humane? I mean, it is. That's a real question, man. It's a real question, bro. Or they could pay their employees that make them millions, but they are paying those employees. Those people got paid. And as a part of that pay, and they probably got time and a half, they were pushed to the absolute limit. You know what I mean? I mean, look, I'm not going to go much further than this. I'll go hard in the stream tonight. 8 p.m. Diamond Lounge. We'll talk about it more then. But it's weird. All right, everybody. Much love. I appreciate y'all. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for all the support. Super chats, memberships, gifted memberships. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. I'll see the Prime members at 2 p.m. I will see Diamond Lounge members at 8 p.m. And I'll see the rest of you over the weekend in a video and back at it on Monday. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Leave. That's a good way to end the week for the public streams. We started with a lot of fire and brimstone, and we ended with a lot of love and understanding. Good stuff. I appreciate you. Yea, though I walk through the shadow of the valley of the death of nerdy shit, I shall fear no Kathy Kennedy. For the Kevin Feige is with me. For the Dave Filoni is with me. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Frostro Dramas, what do you mean I skipped your member chat, bro? What are you talking about? I'm looking for it right now. I'm going to be so pissed if there's not one in here. Oh, let's see here. Oh, no, I read that, bro. I literally read that and spent a good bit of time going over it. So, sorry that you missed it, but I did. All right, everybody. Remember to open up that third eye and wash out your stinky butt. I'll see you later.